So, very good morning to you all. So, myself, I am Vinod. So, I am an associate professor in the Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering. I am working for past 15 years, and I think I have already handled a lab. So, now let us. So, this semester I will be handling your power electronics. So, let us start with the unit number 2. Unit number 2 is phase controlled converters, and for today's class we will discuss about 2 pulse converter. Okay, so the syllabus for unit number 2 is 2 pulse, 3 pulse and 6 pulse converter, their performance parameters. Okay, so we will compare how the performance when you go for 2 pulse, 3 pulse and 6 pulse. Okay, then effect on source and load side impedance we will discuss. Then various firing schemes for the converter we will discuss. Then comes your dual converter, and there are some application we will try to see, like light dimmer, then solar PV system and extraction system. If possible, even I will do some simulation and I will try to explain you so you can understand it more clear. Okay, so today's class, so we are going into 2 pulse. So before going into 2 pulse, so why we should be very clear why you try to read a subject called power electronics. So power electronics is a branch of electrical engineering which deals with power conversion from one to another form. Okay, so here from AC to DC. Okay, in AC, when you want to increase your voltage or decrease the voltage, you have a person called transformer. But in case of DC, when you give the input to the transformer will not work. It will go to saturation and it will try to get the output as 0. So I cannot use transformer in case of DC for stepping up or stepping down. So the power electronics came into picture where I am able to convert fixed AC to variable DC. For this I will be using the components like inductor, capacitor and a semiconductor device. So, okay, semiconductor device are diode, thyristor, MOSFETs and IGBT. You might have studied a paper called electron devices. Okay, so in electron devices you might have studied various devices. So that device we will use, and the power may be from milliwatt to megawatt you can do with the help of power electronics semiconductor devices. Okay, so that is why the word power electronics came into picture, that electronics with the high power rating. Okay, so the semiconductor which you might have done in device lab in class or in lab might be only of 30 volts or 60 volts, but in case of power electronics based semiconductor device we will have till kilovolts. Okay, so that is the thing. So higher rating. So I repeat, the power electronics is nothing but for conversion from one to another and for stepping or stepping down of your DC. So when you see as a power electronics, what and all you can do is in power and energy sector, so you can drive the motor and your power supply processing. Okay, so when you see electron devices, it is like for power semiconductor devices, circuits and magnetism, and then for system and control I will use for various control of my application. So all this put together forms power electronics. Okay, so now let us start with unit number 2, where phase controlled converters. The phase control converters convert AC to DC energy line commutated. So input is fixed input, your EB. Okay, EB input doesn't vary. It will be either single phase or 3 phase. So in single phase voltage is 230 we call, and that is RMS voltage, not peak voltage. Okay, similarly in case of 3 phase we call it as 415. So 415 again is an RMS value. So we say it is fixed. So EB voltage doesn't change, and EB frequency will also not change. So it will be always in 50 Hz. So the input to the phase controlled rectifier will be a single phase AC or 3 phase AC, or with the same frequency, the frequency of 50. Okay, in India and European countries we follow 50. In US they follow 60. Okay, variable output. So from the phase controlled converter, the output will be a DC voltage, and this DC voltage you can vary, or you can vary from 0 to a certain limit. Okay, so that we call it as variable output. Unlike diode rectifier, phase controlled rectifier, there is a word called controlled. Okay, there is no control when you use diode. If you use phase controlled rectifiers, then you can vary the output voltage. Diode rectifier are called as uncontrolled rectifier. When the diodes are replaced with thyristor, then it becomes phase controlled rectifier. So are you clear? So when you use diode to rectify is nothing but conversion of AC to DC. When you use only diode, you can only convert your AC to DC without any control. Okay, when you want to have a control means change the output voltage, then we call it as phase controlled rectifier. So phase controlled converter, the unit number 2, we will deal with conversion of AC to DC with variable DC output voltage. The output voltage can be controlled by varying the firing angle of thyristor. Firing angle is nothing but the instant at which you turn on your thyristor. Okay, the input AC supply is 50 Hz, which means your voltage as well as current starts to increase and reaches a maximum, again touches the zero and go to the reverse direction. AC itself is, we know, it is alternating. So you will have alternating both in positive as well as negative. So now for a duration of around 0 to 180 degree, or when you want to say in time domain, from 0 to 10 milliseconds you are in positive half cycle, and from 10 milliseconds to 20 milliseconds your waveform is in negative direction. Okay, in this 0 to 10 milliseconds I can turn on the thyristor either at 0 or I can gradually increase. I can turn on at 1 millisecond, 2 millisecond, 3 milliseconds, 4 milliseconds. So the time of variation, that I can vary the firing time. So by varying the firing time, what will happen? Output voltage will vary. Okay, so that is why the name, it is called as phase controlled converter. The phase controlled rectifier has its main application in speed control of a DC motor. Again I repeat, phase control, what we have told, we convert AC to DC. So DC, I can vary the output voltage. So variable DC, if variable DC is given to a DC motor will run at various speed depending upon the input voltage. So application, steel rolling mills, paper mills, textile mills, wherever you have DC motor you can call it as application of this particular thing. Then electric traction is nothing but the local train which is running between beach to Tambaram or beach to Chengalpet or beach to Kanjipuram, whatever you say. But that local train, they use a DC motor, DC compound motor we will use. Compound motor is nothing but a series motor and a shunt motor in combination. So that requires a DC. For that DC, the commercial is available is only AC. So inside your train you will have this phase controlled rectifier and you will try to convert it into DC and try to operate your machine. Okay, so at the time we know that when the train reaches the station you have to put a brake and stop. So the speed of the motor is 0. Then again we will try to increase the speed, then it will go at maximum speed and then come back again to 0. Between the station you will have maximum speed and on the station the speed will be 0. So you have to vary the speed. So to vary the speed I go for phase controlled rectifier. Okay, so then high voltage DC transmission, this you will read in upcoming semesters. Like even nowadays we are thinking for transmitting of DC voltage than AC, because it has its own some advantage. When you go for DC, only one conductor itself is more than sufficient. In case of AC you need 3 conductors. Okay, so number of conductor reduce, so initial cost will come down. Okay, all these are some applications of phase control rectifier. So when you see the block diagram, it will be like this. So you will have an input is AC input, you have some semiconductors arranged in some fashion. That particular arrangement of fashion only we call it as 2 pulse, 3 pulse, 6 pulse and all. So that with that arrangement I am able to get the output and I can operate this fellow in closed loop. What is closed loop? See, your parents pay the fees and send you to college. Okay, then whether you are attending the college, whether you are regularly going to college, they will try to ask and we will try to respond to them saying that okay, your student is regularly coming. So what will happen is there won't be any mistake and finally you will get the degree. When you successfully complete, you will get. So that is called a closed loop. We continuously monitor. Similar way, I can monitor my power electronics based circuit so that I get the desired output. So that we call it as controller. So I will give a reference signal stating that from the output I will compare with the what I want. So I will get the error. Based upon the error, I will take the action. Okay. See, if you are regularly coming, then there is no issue. Otherwise, we will put a phone call and inform your parent, and they will send. So it make a closed loop. So now let us start discussing with respect to 2-pulse converter. So in a 2-pulse converter, there are two types. Okay, the first one is 2-pulse off controlled bridge converter. Another one is 2-pulse bridge converter. Okay, so the two-phase 2-pulse converter, also known as 2-pulse with modulation generator, which is nothing but PWM. For a switch, you give a T on plus T off. When you say T on plus T off, it is called as pulse width modulation. Either I can vary the on or I can vary the off. Okay, so that way we call it as a PWM. Now you can see the circuit here. So input, what I have told, input is AC supply. So this AC supply I am giving to, this is called phase control rectifier, and this type of phase control rectifier is nothing but 2-pulse off controlled. See here, there are 2 switches and 2 diode. Okay, there is no need any control for this diode. When you put a diode, when the voltage is greater than turn on voltage, automatically the diode will get turned on. When it goes below the gate voltage, anode cathode voltage, then automatically diode will get off. Okay, that is, diode will conduct in forward bias and will not conduct in reverse bias condition. So this 2 is uncontrolled. Now you can see here there are 2 thyristors. So each thyristor need a pulse to turn on. How many pulses required? 2 pulses required. So that is why we call it as 2 pulse. Okay, pulse 1, pulse 2. When you give pulse 1 to the T1, based upon your pulse, T1 get turned on. Similarly, another pulse to T2, based on your pulse, this fellow will get turned on. So what we will do when you want AC to DC conversion, initially under positive off cycle, we will try to operate this T1. Automatically this D2 will come into picture. Okay, similarly when during negative off cycle, I will turn on T2 and automatically D1 will come into picture, because to close the loop. See, for here, during positive off cycle, I will start from here. Okay, I am turning on this thyristor. Okay, so thyristor now can be turned on from alpha 0 to alpha 180 degree, because from 0 to 180 degree only you will have positive off cycle. So anywhere between 0 to 180 I can fire. Depending upon the firing, I will get the output. If I am firing at 0 itself, I will get maximum voltage. If I fire at 180 degree, nothing will be there. So you have to fire between 0 to 90, you will go for maximum. Again from 90 to 180, your output voltage will come down. So alpha 0 to 90, if you gradually do, your voltage will get reduced, and once it reaches 90, and then also it will start to decrease. Okay, so entire control is 0 to 180. So during positive off cycle, when I turn on this, what will happen? See here, current flow path. Current will enter through this T1, it will go to this inductor and to your load, and then it will come back, and via this D2 it will close. So we will say current will flow only if there is closed path, otherwise it will not flow. Then at an instant when during negative off cycle, what happens is, see this T2 you try to turn on, from that is from 10 milliseconds to 20 milliseconds you will turn on this. So once you turn on this, automatically your current will enter and leave. So the thing you have to notice is here, it will leave and come to this diode D1, and then path gets closed. During positive off cycle I start here, and negative off cycle I start here. So at positive off cycle I start here, and then I will try to end by this. In negative off cycle I will start by this line, go to this T2, and then come back to this D1, and I will try to close. But the thing you have to notice here, your direction changes. Okay, on input you see the direction is changed. Initially current goes in this direction, then current here. But when you see with respect to load, always current is unidirectional. See here, starting from this D1, then inductor, then load. So the path is in this direction. Again during negative half cycle also, see here you can see this is dt2 and current enters the load in the same direction. So what happens? Bidirectional is converted into unidirectional. Unidirectional is nothing but DC, bidirectional is AC. So I have successfully converted my AC to DC with the help of only two pulse, one pulse for this T1, another pulse for T2. The thing to be noted is you have to turn on T1 during positive half cycle and D2 during negative half cycle. So the controlled converter has thyristor T1 and T2 in common cathode connection, whereas uncontrolled diode has D1 D2 in common anode, common cathode, common anode and all you should know. Okay, the former is positive group and the lateral is negative group. Okay, the bridge can also be obtained with an uncontrolled converters in the positive group and controlled one in negative group. See, this I can change. T1 T2 I can put it here, D1 D2 I can put it here. There is no change. Okay, if you put D1 here, D2 and T1 T2 here also, the same thing is going to happen. It is only reshuffling and drawing the diagram, that's all. Wherever you put, the behavior will be same. Okay, so when you see the output voltage, you can see here based upon the firing angle I have told no. So when you vary the firing angle from 0 to 180, you can see when I give 0 maximum I told input voltage, then if I go on increasing my firing angle, my voltage will start to decrease. When at 90 it will be 50% of the voltage, and if I go further, once I reach 180 the voltage will become 0. Okay, and then if I keep at 0 I will have maximum, but there will be some drop. The drop is across the device. Similarly, if I keep at 0.5, okay, when you will get 0.5 voltage when your alpha is 90 degrees, so that is what be written here. So when alpha is 0 you will get maximum, when alpha is 90 you will get half of your input, and when your alpha reaches 180 degree your output voltage goes to 0. So now let us see the waveform with the resistive load. So when you come back to the same diagram, see here the load is, you have motor will have its own inductor and resistance, and this is a filter inductance. Okay, now when you put an inductor in your circuit, the behavior of the circuit will change. So we will see first without putting inductor what I am getting. So without putting inductor, say, see this is your sine waveform, input sine. So don't get confused with dotted line. Dotted line is just for understanding. There is no such waveform and all. So you will have only this is positive half cycle and this is negative half cycle. This is one full cycle. So cycle starts from 0 till pi, the cycle is in positive direction. Then from the pi to 2 pi the cycle is in negative direction. So now what I have told, I have taken two transistor. One transistor what I have told, I will turn on for positive half cycle. Another transistor I will, transistor or a thyristor, whatever you say, it is a semiconductor device. So this is called alpha. So from 0 to some particular value. What is the maximum range? I can go till this. Pi is nothing but 90 degree, 2 pi is 180 degree, so sorry 360 degree. So pi is 180 and 2 pi is 360. So for T1 I can control from 0 to 180 degree, for T2 from 180 to 2 pi. So this is say, let us say alpha 30 degree. So at this instant if I fire, automatically your voltage will start from this. If it is R load, once your voltage touches 0, your output voltage also goes to 0, and this will be your waveform. So for negative half cycle, again if this is alpha is 30, it will start from here. So you can see now when you take average of it, it will get filled up and you will get a final output voltage and output current. Now if inductor is brought in, what will happen? For inductive load there is an inherent freewheeling action provided by the incoming diode and the reverse bias thyristor. Until the new incoming thyristor is turned on, the device will be in off. You can see here. So what happens at this instant? At this instant your voltage and currents goes to 0, so automatically your device will get turned off, and this is the case. But if the inductor is inserted, this will not go to off, but it will continue till you are turning on the next thyristor. To that instant it will be in on state itself. So that is what the presence of L. So you can see here this is extra portion on your output. So if there is L, you have not done pure rectifier. See, DC, what DC should not go in negative direction. So but you can see here it goes to negative direction, but unfortunately there is no load without L. Okay, pure R load is not at all possible in any of application. Say if you take ceiling fan, you have L. Okay, whatever application you say, if you take tube light, you have a choke is nothing but an inductor. So this is ideal speaking. Actual speaking, you will have always inductive load. So if you have always inductive load, then the issue is there. What is the issue? I am not getting pure DC. I am having some AC component also. You can see if it is pure DC, it should not cross 0. So it should go only in one off, and it should not come to this off at all. But due to inductor, it is coming here. So what can I do? There is an option. That option is, I will tell you later. And now we discuss about bridge rectifier. So in bridge rectifier, now instead of 2 diode, 2 transistor, I am going for 4 transistor. So it is fully controlled operation. Okay, in fully controlled operation, there I told, see, pulse remains same. What pulse I give to T2, same pulse I have to give to T3. What pulse I give to T2, the same pulse you have to give to T4. There is no difference between the pulse between T1, T3, T2, T4. Okay, T1, T3 receive the same pulse, as well as T2 and T4 receive the same pulse. So alpha for T1 and alpha for T3 is same. Similarly, alpha for T4 and alpha for T2 is same. So that is what they will say. During positive off cycle, the input voltage, the T1 and T2 will in forward bias, but does not conduct until gate signal is applied to it. Even though these two in positive, they will not go to on, because you have to turn on, because it is a control device. So here also with the inductor, you will get the output here when it is inductive load. So it starts from here, reaches pi. By this instant it should be 0, but due to the presence of inductor, it goes to the negative of cycle. So now what can I do? So you can see this diagram now. It is called a freewheeling diode action. Freewheeling diode action is, see, an extra diode I have put here. So this extra diode, now what this diode will do is, rather going in negative direction, you will try to observe that voltage and make the voltage to go to 0. You can see here, due to that freewheeling diode action, again I am able to cut this part. See how I am doing is, initially I will turn on this T1, you will have, it will pass to this load and it will come to via this T2. Starts from T1, ends with T2, and once your sign goes to 0, what to do? I have to make this two fellow to go to 0. For that, what I have to, instead of current going in this path, I try to circulate the current in this path itself. When I try to circulate the current in this path, there is nothing to turn, make this device to be in off. Automatically this two fellow go to off. Okay, so that is called a freewheeling. So freewheeling is nothing but, it is not making this fellow current to go to input side, rather it will try to circulate it. You might have heard this word somewhere else also, like freewheel, not diode, just freewheel. I think you might have seen in automobile, in two-wheeler, four-wheeler, in your generator at home, all this you will have freewheel. So freewheel is nothing but, if there is any sudden decrease or increase, this fellow will try to observe it and it will make the person to run at the same speed. So that is called freewheel. If you might have seen in agriculture land also, they might have used motor. With the motor they might have connected a big heavy wheel. That heavy wheel is nothing but freewheeling. Okay, so with the help of this freewheeling action, even for the inductive load, there is no voltage on negative off cycle. So this waveform we are able to get with R load with an additional freewheeling diode. So what I have explained will be here in the theory. So when I circulate this theory, you will be able to understand. Okay, but what I have told will be written in the written form. Okay, similar way. So T1, T2 will be turned on, so current will enter through the load. But once this T1, T2, based upon the input If it reaches 0, this will be isolated with the help of this freewheeling fellow. This freewheeling fellow will take care and such that it will make the device to turn off. Okay, so this is with respect to your 2 pulse converter. Just a recap, I will say, in 2 pulse converter we have seen 2 different type. One is called as with 2 semiconductor devices, another one is with 4 semiconductor device. Here 2 person we are controlling. In the second circuit all the 4 we are controlling. Okay, so with this we will try to stop.